thing I can see is this little buckle here. Tiny little buckle. Very delicate. Oh, and here's my friend. I haven't got any food for you. I haven't got any food for you, honestly. I will later, but not now, because if I give it to you now, you're going to be following me all morning, aren't you? Oh, I found a little interesting patch here. Looks like somebody's thrown a load of stuff over the wall, maybe, because I can see down here a watch. Look. Poking out of the mud. Look at that. The sand. Oh, look at that. Isn't that delicate? I can also see lots of coins. They're probably modern. Let's have a little look. Lead. I'll have to unfold it, seeing if there's anything on it. Here's a coin. Probably a 2p. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of modern coins here. Oh, that's a pretty find. Look at this. Yeah, lots of modern 2p's. I shall leave those for future mudlarks. And amongst all these modern coins that are scattered everywhere, I've just found an older one, and it's a beautiful Queen Victoria. Look at that. In very good condition. Look at the year. Oh, I can't quite make it out. Is it 19? Could be 1900. I'm not sure. I'll take a look later. Oh, now what's this? Oh, it's the back of a button, isn't it? Trims. Oh look, it's an old, looks like an old telephone dialing piece. I shall be able to use that in a collage. Excellent. Oh, look what we've got here. Clay pipe. Looks like this one's been here for some time. A bit broken. Okay, now I've just seen something that's been revealed. The mud has been eroded slowly away to reveal it. And so I'm going to go very, very slowly along and see if you can see what I'm looking at. And I expect that you saw that, didn't you? And it is just here. And it looks like a Turk's head pipe. You can just see the little ear here. Have a look. What I'm expecting and what I'm hoping is that there's going to be a little face, and I'm also hoping that this pipe is going to be whole. Right, well I can feel that the stem stops there. There it is. But let's have a look and see what the bowl's looking like, and let's hope the bowl is whole. A whole bowl. Yes it is, and there we are, look. Yep. It's a lovely sort of 19th century Turk's head pipe bowl, a little face who hasn't seen the light of day for at least 100 years. A lot more actually. I'm thinking it dates probably to the mid-19th century, so yeah, a good 150 years. Let's have a look at this. There we are. Looking a little bit concerned there. Isn't he gorgeous? See, that part of his face is all white because the pipe has been exposed to the air, and then this bit will fade, and then it'll gradually all be the same colour. You can see his beard, his ear, his hair, his nose, his eyes. Hello. Welcome. I've just seen a pipe over here and I'm going to zoom in on it before I go and pick it up so you can have a look. There it is, look, just there. And it looks like a nice decorated bowl actually. Let's go and take a closer look. There, I can see some nice little sort of leafy things there. Let's hope that the bowl is intact. And it is. It's great news. Ah, lovely. Now I just seen something exciting out of the corner of my eye over here in a puddle. Can you see it? It looks like a cat badge or something. Wow, look at that. It looks a little bit broken, doesn't it? It looks like it's had something snapped off. But it's gorgeous. Look at that. I wonder what it comes from. Maybe one of you knows. I'm guessing that there was an anchor probably underneath here, and that's the rope around the fouled anchor. It's probably Royal Navy, isn't it? But look at that! Thrilled with that. Now, what's this? I'm not usually a massive pottery person, but this is beautiful, and I have got one very similar to this at home. A smaller one. Look, isn't he lovely? A lion. Absolutely gorgeous. I love that. Now look here, there's another beautiful piece of pottery. Wow, look at this. My goodness, isn't that great? It's been there so long, it's got a barnacle on it. And it's got something there. The little plundered or something. Isn't that beautiful? Well, I was just squelching along in the mud and this caught my eye. So I wonder what it is. From what I can see under this popper, it looks like it could be a knife. Let's have a look. Yesterday I had to go to the police station to hand in a weapon that I found with the ladies who lark. So, oh my, look at this. Look at this. I'm not going to get fingerprints on it, don't worry. Oh Lord, what is that? God, that's a pretty lethal knife, isn't it? Good heavens. That is one heck of a knife. And it looks like a flick knife, doesn't it? So I'm not going to touch anything. Very ornate. It's got the head of a stag or something there, and a leopard. Wooden handle, but pretty lethal. And why is it in the river, I wonder? So I'm going to put that in my bag, and I'll probably hand that in to the police as well. Now just down here we've got a modern coin of 1 penny, which I'll leave there. We've got this one, which is also fairly modern, but it's not in circulation anymore. It's a halfpenny, a Queen Elizabeth halfpenny with the ship on it. I've just seen something quite interesting here, look. Quite decorative. Obviously had some kind of function at some point. Earlier, as I was going down to the foreshore, I spotted this drowned little cuddly kitten, and I can't possibly leave it here. I'm going to take it home and give it a little run through the washing machine and see how she turns out, and I think she'll be a nice addition to the Thames Tideline orphanage. So let's pop her in the bag. She looks pretty terrible now, doesn't she? I'm sure she'll clean up really nicely. Okay, the wash has finished, and let's see how this little orphan has turned out. I had to operate because I realised that, well, not a bad result, is it? Look at that, nice little fluffy little kitten. I had to operate because I realised there was a battery inside. She was obviously one of these kittens that you squash, and she probably meowed, so I had to take that out, and she is missing a leg. But she's got a tail, unless that's the leg. No, I think that's the tail. And so now, there we are, look at that for a transformation. Meow. Okay, where are we going to put her? It's a little crowded up here. I think she may have to go on the lap of that doll there for the time being. Let's pop her up here. Maybe the monkey. The monkey can put his arm around the kitten. There we go. The monkey also had to have an operation because he also had a battery in him, so he knows what it's like, don't you, monkey? There we are. We got the three-legged kitten and the monkey, and everybody's looking very happy. And you all think I've lost the plot, don't you? Well, it's got to be done, hasn't it? everyone, welcome to my studio and thank you very much for accompanying me on that little outing along the River Thames in London, which was filmed earlier this year. Now, as I've been editing my films recently, I have so enjoyed just reliving the whole experience of being down by the river. I haven't actually been down to the Thames now for a good few weeks and I really miss it, so just being able to see the mud and the clay pipes coming out of the mud and the swans, the nature and wildlife, is just a great way to re-experience the whole place. It's not as good as actually being there, but it's a good second best. I've also rediscovered lots of finds in my footage on my computer that I haven't yet shown you, so I'm looking forward to using up some of that footage over the coming weeks. So for now, let's have a look at some of the objects which featured in today's video and see if we can learn a little bit more about them, and some of them you might be able to help me with, so let's take a look at them now. So here are the objects which featured in today's video, and I'm going to start with one of my favourite finds, and it is this Turks head clay pipe here. You can just see the detail on there, and it's likely to date back to early Victorian times, probably from the 1830s, and by that time the Victorians were making some simple fancy pipes which often featured faces. They were often military faces or kings and queens or Turks heads like this one, and they were highly in demand because they were new and original and fancy, and so they were made very, very quickly and quite sloppily on occasions, because if you notice here where the mould is, which runs right down from the top of his head through his nose and his chin, you can see the mould line quite clearly, and it hasn't really been trimmed, and it was just to speed up time really, so they could make more. Thanks for that information to Heather Coleman, who runs the website Dawn Mist, and she has a huge wealth of information all about clay pipes. And also, if you want to see some fantastic Turks head pipes, then pop on over to Germander Speedwell's website too, the address of which I will put up here. She's got some lovely Turks head pipes. So there's this one, and I do have some other ones that I've found in the past that I'm going to show you now. And they are just here. A whole little collection, a varied collection of characters and faces. This one's got half a face because the other side has sort of worn off. But you can see he's got that little hat on there as well, so he's another Turks head. And this one here, which is pretty much identical to that one, which makes me wonder if it's the same maker, because it almost looks the same, doesn't it, with the ear and the eyebrows. Very, very similar. Another one here, he's got a nice turban there with something on the front. Looks a little bit more kind of scary, that one. And let's have a look at this one. Now this one isn't a Turk's head, this one looks more like a queen. It could even be Queen Victoria. And this one here, which is rather nice. And I've noticed that Germander has also got one like that on her website, so I wonder if it's the same maker. So a nice little collection there of Victorian era, I suspect, clay pipes featuring faces, and many of them Turks heads. So now we may as well move on to the other clay pipe which I found, which is here. Again, it's going to be a Victorian era pipe, mid-19th century. And it's got that lovely little design there, those leaves that sort of curl up the bowl. And this sort of little bit here, this raised edge, which sort of cleverly covers up the moulding of where the pipe was made. And I've got a few similar ones here, very similar design. And you can see where somebody has smoked the tobacco there because it's all blackened on that one as well. So it's always nice to see the evidence of the pipe having been smoked. So now let's go up here, and here is my beautiful lion ceramic head. And I would say that he would be off the side of a tureen. I mean, again, it could be Victorian, very resplendent. And funnily enough, a few years ago, I found this one, who could in fact be off of the same tureen, just the other side. So that was no doubt adorning somebody's table many, many years ago. And talking of lions on tureens, I've got a few here as well, but these would have been on the lids. Now there is a word for these. Do you know what? And I cannot remember it. Is it finial, I think? A lion finial. I think that's the word. They're a little bit worse for wear, but they would also have proudly perched on top of a tureen or a casserole dish, probably back in Victorian times. Only that one doesn't look like a lion, does it? That one looks like a little dog, so he's slightly different. So moving down here, we've got this part of a, well, I want to say cat badge, but it looks a bit big to be a cat badge. If it was in its entirety, it would be a little bit long. So I'm not quite sure what part of the uniform that would have been on, but it's definitely Victorian. You can tell by the crown. And Royal Navy. So a Victorian Royal Naval military badge of some description. And you can just see that the bottom of the anchor is missing down there. And talking of Queen Victoria, this coin here which I found is in such great condition. I don't think I found one in such good condition as this. I mean, it really doesn't look like it's been knocking around in the River Thames for very long at all. And it dates to 1900. 1 penny. And here she is, the older bust of Queen Victoria. We've got this tiny little buckle here, probably came off a garter or something, or some underwear. The back of a button with trims on it, Trims patent. I did look up trims, I couldn't find a make. It's probably some kind of old workwear, I should think. This, which I originally thought was from a telephone dialing piece, but the more I look at it, the more I think it probably isn't, because these bits here are broken and it's also quite heavy. So does anybody know what that would have come from? Because I don't know, it just doesn't seem right for a telephone. But it looks like one, doesn't it? It looks like the old telephone dialing piece. We've got this little fragment of watch, which is an old quartz watch. Just an old cheap one, nothing too special. This piece of metal here probably came off some furniture. And I think this here, which really is just absolutely lovely, I really like it. It's some Victorian transfer wear, would have been from a child's cup. And it says, "The Little Plunderer." And there we are, we've got a boy sitting in a field. He would be sitting next to a newly ploughed or planted field, and he's got the little plunderer, the little bird, sitting on his finger. And it's just absolutely adorable. I've looked it up on the internet. I've seen a couple of entire cups, but they seem to be quite scarce. So this is really beautiful. It's just like a little piece of art, isn't it? Absolutely lovely. So you can't help wondering what child drank their evening milk out of that. So I think that's everything. Some nice little finds there. Each one with a little secret history and a story of its own. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and if you do have any additional information on any of those objects, then please just jot it down in the comments below. And I almost forgot to mention the poor abandoned kitten who is very happy in her new home, the Thames Toys Orphanage. She's getting to know Monkey, who, believe it or not, looked an awful lot worse than the kitten when I found her. He washed up on the estuary last year and was in an absolute state. And so far my washing machine is coping. Let's hope that continues. I do hope that you all have a good week ahead. Take care of yourselves, look after yourselves, and I very much look forward to seeing you again very soon. And I'm sending you lots of love from London. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.